What's going on, guys? This is a topic that I've been wanting to discuss for a while. So, and it involves the story of Assassin's Creed. So, some die-hard Assassin's Creed fans, or some pretty casual fans, will probably wonder, well, what happened to Assassin's Creed? Well, a lot of things. A lot of things happened, and I guess we can sort of say that I guess we can honestly say that Assassin's Creed began to go downhill after Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. Well, I mean, what I mean by go downhill, I mean lose all losing all personal feeling or what's the word? Ability to care about the story. Because Assassin's Creed has been a very story-driven game. If you look at AC1, Ezio trilogy, Assassin's Creed 3, and 4, what did they all have in common? They had solid gameplay, but with an amazing story and characters worth caring about. Well, you're probably wondering, well, I don't care. Well, you're probably one of those people that's saying, well, I really didn't like Desmond. Well, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to. I'm not making you like him. But the point is that the franchise now suffers because of a lack of story. But then you're probably saying, well, what does that have to do with Desmond? Desmond has everything to do with the story. Because if you really look at it, from Assassin's Creed 1 all the way up to 3, it's been him, his ancestors, his DNA, his memories. The story revolved around Desmond in a way that made the franchise what it is. I can't think of the franchise without Desmond, because he was the glue that held it all together. The franchise made sense with Desmond at the helm. And now that they've killed off Desmond, if you notice that after Desmond was killed off in Assassin's Creed 3, every single Assassin's Creed game after it has been more gameplay focused and less story driven, which is what you see here in Rogue, Syndicate, and Unity. They don't tell stories that are worth caring about. They still continue the Assassins versus Templars, but they don't tell it in a way that is supposed to make us really care about it. Because with Desmond at the helm, you had a core character, and you revolve the story around him. You shape the story around him, and it all makes sense. Now we've lost the main character that's supposed to make this all make sense. Now, basically, it's just, oh, well, we're still fighting Templars, and we're still fighting these artifacts, and that's it. What is the motive? What should make us care about keeping up with these artifacts? Why should we care about about the war with the Assassins and the Templars? Like, why should we care? With Desmond, they gave us a good reason to care. But now it's just like, it's hard to tell what is happening, because there's really no more meaning left in the story, because the story isn't being told the way it was being told, and the game suffers because of that. Gameplay wise, Assassin's Creed has improved. It has tremendously, but the game has lost a lot of substance because there is no core character at the helm making the story make sense. Why should we keep continuing the franchise when there really isn't a reason to really care about the franchise anymore? And some of you are probably going to say, well, I don't like Desmond. I think he crippled the story. I like the initiate system better. Well, I can understand your opinion, but I'm a story-driven gamer. I play games to understand their story, to understand their universes. And and to believe it or not, I did an extensive amount of research on Assassin's Creed. I knew more about it than I knew more about the game before I even bought my first Assassin's Creed game, which is kind of sad to say the least. But all things aside, the franchise now suffers greatly because there isn't reason for us to care about the war between the Assassins and the Templars anymore. There's no core character to make us care about what's actually happening, because there really isn't. I mean, if you look at this game right now, I mean, look at this. I'm at second highest point in London right now. Well, maybe no, actually no. Scratch that. But I mean, I'm at a pretty high point right now, and look at this. This game is beautiful. Look at it. It's freaking amazing. But the biggest problem with it, though, is that what's the story? Why should I care about it? Why should I care about it? Excuse me. But why should I care about the story when there really isn't one to be told? This is just the thing that I've been thinking about a lot as far as Assassin's Creed is concerned, because, I mean, the game is great, but the game suffers from good storytelling. There's really nothing to the story anymore, because there's really no legitimate reason for us to really care about it anymore, because you killed off the main character that made the story everything it is, that made Assassin's Creed what it is. And some of you will say, no, Ezio made Assassin's Creed what it is. Well, I'm sorry, sir. That's a little narrow-minded of you. But all things aside, Assassin's Creed now suffers from decent storytelling. And I know that sucks to hear that, but it's the truth. Some people play games for the story, some people play games just for gameplay. For me, I'm both, but I mostly play for story. And the way I see it is that if the franchise is ever going to be anything of its former glory, it's going to have to either find a way to bring Desmond back or create a whole new core character to revolve the story around, to make it make sense. Because now the game just sits in a place where it's constantly being improved, but it's leaving behind the thing that makes it what it is, and that's a story. This is just a thing that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while, and to me, I feel like it needed to be talked about. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Assassin's Creed now? Is it becoming the next Call of Duty? Is it a shadow of its former glory? Is it redeemable? And if so, what would have to be done for it to be redeemed? Put those down in the comments. Let's have a discussion about this. And if there are any other topics you would like for me to talk about as far as gaming goes, put those down there as well, and I'll do some research and I'll see what I can come up with. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one.